I'm going to be doing just a quick drawing. I don't want to necessarily make sure it's perfect, but I want to kind of get the impression of this face, and I want to give it some personality. So I'm just kind of doing with a gel pen, trying to get sort of a contour drawing of this face in 3/4 view with glasses. So I'm just trying to find, I think contour drawing is a good exercise, and especially with pen, in that it makes you really see proportion and relationships, which I think are probably key to accurate drawing. So again, I should do exercises like this every day. I'm not trying to get a perfect line, so I'm wanting to see from here to here, what is that relationship in terms of that angle, and how does it connect to the ear. And I may not, so what is this angle and what is this angle? So this is slightly down, and what is that distance of that glasses lens? It might not be perfect, but it might be a good start. And then what's the relationship here? This glasses lens is quite a bit, or yeah, this lens is quite a bit bigger over here than this one because of perspective. And this was the bump of the nose, so I want to find that nose edge there, connect those two shapes. I'm trying to do a continuous line, looking at this angle here. And I'm going to trace back down, and I want to find that shadow edge. So where does that shadow edge connect with the nose? And what is the angle as it comes off? Do I have that far enough down? Don't think so. What is that angle there? How far out does this come? Again, just trying to keep a continuous line. Where does that dip in the nose compare? How does it compare to that? Oh, and of course my pen has died. Let's try another one here. So, foul, ran out of ink in my pen. That's not my fault. So I'm going to use that little center of the mouth to find that bottom edge of the lip. And then where does the shadow edge come, and how does it relate to the cleft in the chin, which I probably have too far over. And I might have this line too severe as well. Right, so I took my brush off, or my pen off. So I'm just going to find another place to connect back. So the mouth is closed, and then there's the teeth. Where do the teeth silhouette? How do they interact with the lower lip? That's what I want to do, and then I'm just going to go ahead and color that in because I know that's dark in there. It just gives me a point of reference. Okay, coming back out to the edge of the mouth, find that little light edge there, which makes this a very interesting photograph. And again, the fact that I'm repeating my lines is actually good. It's going to give me some pigment. I'm hoping this is a water soluble pen. And I want to find that light edge. So I painted the light edge, or drew the light edge, and that sort of gives me that reference for this light edge. So there's a gap here, so I'm going to jump up to the gap. This is up too high. That's up too high. Alright, I've got to jump up my pen because those shapes aren't connected, and sort of find the edge of that shadow shape as it comes down. Okay, so that's the edge of the glasses. I've got that angle a little too horizontal. It's quite a bit steeper. And I don't really see the edge of the glasses. I just see some light there. So I'm going to draw the light shape. So the main thing I want to do is draw what I see, not what I think I know. So what are these light and dark shapes? There's a light shape there I want to capture. And I'll sort it all out later now. The edge of the glasses is here. There's a little bit of a dark shape there that comes off of that. So this is a shape of light. Comes up to about there and then goes back. Right here. Again, I want to find the light, so the actual, what looks like a eyelid is above the lens of the glasses, which we don't think, we know that that's not true, but if we look, we see that that's the truth of the picture. Okay, and then there's a little bit of a light shape there. So I'm just finding that dark shape there. And then coming up here, oh, there's a dark shape that comes down, goes about halfway up, and then it's a light shape. Goes into the hair. So that hair, couple of light shapes there, gives me a bridge over, and then this shape of hair. And I tried not to do individual lines for hair. I like to mass the hair sections. Eliminate that for a minute. And if I have to go off the page to get it all in, that's what I'll do. So that's the headline. I had it a little too shallow. And then there's hairline there. Hair there, comes up there. Okay, we're going to come here, we're going to find where this dark comes off of the chin line, and what is that angle as it comes down. Going over to the ear, I might have the ear a little too close. Ear might have to go off the page, and this hair is there. Where's the shoulder? How does it interact with the nose? Look at how high the shoulder is. Comes up here. Where does this crease come? It hits about halfway, comes down like that. There's a little line. Again, I'm only drawing what I see, not what I think I know. Just finding those shadow shapes. Over here, where does this interact? So if this is my new ear, so this is now hair. This is my new ear. There's a shadow shape there. How does that interact? Comes down like that. Right, so we missed a little bit of information over here. So that's the edge of the nose piece of the glasses. And then there's a light spot that looks like the highlight of the eye over there. And then above that, I don't know what it is. I don't care. I'm just going to draw the shape of it. And then there's a little bit of dark there. So I'm just going to color that dark in to help me see the light and dark. And the dark comes all the way up there and then bounces out. Good, it does look like it's going to be water soluble pen, which is good. We're going to do a little ink and wash. Again, I think I have this jutting out just a little too far. All right, let's find some of these shapes with the nose shape. So I've got the shape of the nose a little bit wrong. And then how does this shadow interact with the nose piece? So there's the highlight on the nose piece. So it comes here, comes down almost to the bridge, and then like that. Okay, this is the eye shape. This is all dark. This might have come a little too far out. So this is all dark in here, except for that highlight. This is all dark, all dark. There's a little bit of a highlight there. Comes over, got a nose piece. Not quite as dark in there. Okay, this is all dark. Might have that a little too far back, and it comes down and actually connects with the earpiece. And there's that hair bit, some hair bits there, some hair bits there. Very stringy hair bits there that sort of make up the bangs. Right, so there's that. This isn't as dark in here. This is quite dark up in there. Okay. Does this come back far enough? If I look up, it aligns here, so I think this chin shape comes up here a little bit further. Remember, this is all dark down in here. Fade that to dark back down in there. And this is all dark in here. This is quite light. Where does that eye hit? That's a little bit dark, but the eyeglasses are quite dark as they come over there. So I really only want two tones. I don't want a lot of shading. So it's either black or white at this point. Just gonna do an off and on. So this is dark. This is dark. This is dark. I'm going to carve around the light. The upper lip is dark, but the teeth are light. I have to make a decision. So the upper lip is dark. And there's a bit of the lower lip is dark. And then this is going to be light. All of this is in dark. I'm going to summarize that to dark. So I'm going to paint the dark in order to find the light. The light and the dark can't exist without one another. Okay, really want to make sure I save the light on that glasses edge there. And find that light shining across to the far side of the cheek. Okay, and then the eyebrow, the brow region, there's a little bit of dark that comes like that. And this is all dark. There is some nuance, but and this is dark with a few highlights here and there. I like to do a drawing of my subject first so I can get to know my subject. If I go straight into painting, I've skipped a lot of the, the get to know me stage. So I really encourage you to take up drawing for observation. It makes painting really easy if you actually do drawing as well. Makes painting easier because painting is about seeing light and dark, and drawing is about seeing light and dark. Okay, so there we go. So it's tempting to just hurry up the process and trace, but if you do that consistently, I don't believe you'll ever really learn how to see. So all of this will be quite dark. All of this will be quite dark, just to save those white bits out in there. So I'm doing this in my sketchbook, so I don't think it's precious. If I do it on good watercolor paper to do then I'll think it's precious and I gotta turn it into a product and I'm wasting my time. But if I do it in my sketchbook, it's for me. It's a little gift to myself. I have the benefit of also having this up on a monitor that I can look at in my studio room. It really helps me to see it in a new way. So all of this cheek is really in light, but I got one little shape of dark there. So, and this is an off-on exercise. I'm not allowed to have shades of gray necessarily. You have to make a decision. Is it dark or is it light? So that's my teeth. Got too much teeth over there. Have to make a decision. There's a highlight here and a highlight there, but that's all I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording and I'm gonna get my water out and see if this pen is water soluble. So I'm back. I have a Tombow pen, which is an ink, water soluble ink pen, and my gel pens. So let's see if, in fact, if I add water, I don't want to just outline. I want to have a sense of this being a drawing and an ink wash at the same time. So in fact, my gel pen is water soluble. So I've just got a pen. I want to keep the point along the edge and then caress that ink out into the dark areas. So again, my goal is to just have a black, either dark or white. I'm not as concerned about shades of gray at this point. So I'm just wetting the ink of the gel pen at this point to create sort of a sketch. Should really start at the top. Let's go ahead and do that now. So I like to use my good brush techniques. Here I'm going to kind of paint around some of those highlights for the hair. Really catch that forehead light there. I want this to be really dramatic, either dark or light. Slight eyebrow there, hint of an eyebrow, and then I want to paint around a highlight. Keep that light area right there, and that's going to call out the edge of the face. If I can't quite keep disciplined, I'm going to turn my source and my painting on the sideways so that I can keep my brush tip at the edge of the shape. So this is the nice thing about working from photographs, is you can actually turn your source sideways. Okay, so I'm just going to leave a hint of the edge of those glasses. I'm going to leave that highlight there. It's actually good practice to turn your stuff sideways so that you see shapes rather than what you know. It helps you paint what you know rather than what you think you know. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and turn it back around. It's a good exercise to do that. Okay, so let's start at the top and work down again. Adjust both the source as well as the angle of the, try to get all this peripheral stuff out of your camera view. Start at the top. Kind of just want to leave a few gaps for hair highlights. I'm working mostly with the side of the brush rather than the tip of the brush, and I'm just wetting the ink that I used with a gel pen that is water soluble ink for an ink and wash. Quick little study of the face that I may want to put in to turn into an actual watercolor painting. So I really just want to find the light by painting and drawing the shape of the shadow. I'm going to put everything but those little hints. I think I just had a power outage. Hopefully my camera has enough juice that I can continue this. Other lights are on, so it might be just my projector. I will continue as if nothing has happened. Oops. I hit that highlight, which I didn't want to do. I have to find it another way. So hopefully I have enough battery power in the camera to get me through the end of this demonstration, and then I'll find out what's going on with my power surge here. Might have too many things on one outlet. Put that into the background. I'm not looking for a whole bunch of detail in here. It's not quite as dark, so it can be nice and free until I get up to this edge where the light is happening. So I just want to paint the shadow shape. Rather than worry too much about proportions of the face and freaking myself out over all of that, I'm just going to paint the shape of the shadows. A hint under the glasses of that eye, but since I'm just doing a black and white on or off, I don't really have the option for shades of gray at this point. But I want to have a little bit of a hint of the edge of that nose. I'm just going to lift that off. In actuality, I would probably not draw the edge of the nose like that in the painting. I just let it fade right down into there. Okay, I want to make sure I have this relationship correct. I think I have my filtrum just a little bit too off angle. And then there's a little bit of a hint of the other side of that. I think this comes out just a little bit further. And it's much too dark, but this is just a practice. And I do want to see if I can lift that off. I probably can't. I want that light to kind of cascade over there. And I'm going to knock that highlight back just a little bit there. Probably going to call this little sketch done. Using ink and wash. So I went away and looked at it from afar, and I realized I forgot to put a little bit of shadow in here, so I look pretty bug-eyed. And then this, there's just a little bit of light there. I want to capture the dark, put it right into it. And there's too much highlight in here, so I need to knock all this back. Got some of that ink on my pen, so the only highlight is right up there if I'm just going for a dark and a light. And this is too harsh here. Just gonna soften that edge a bit, especially on the back side. But you can see I put very little effort into the actual drawing. I was I didn't think about the distance and the measurements and the proportions. I just was drawing the shape of the light and the dark. So I want you to really think about that, because somehow or another we kind of get freaked out when we get into a portrait, and we forget the fundamentals, which are just paint the light. Okay, so I think that's actually a pretty good little rendition of the face without spending a whole bunch of time freaking out over specific features, etc. The pen actually makes it look like I've captured my freckles, which is kind of cool. I'm going to take this little Tombow marker and I'm going to pump up some of these darks. I can put it in while it's wet and it'll swim around there. I kind of like that. And then I'm going to find that glass's edge there. So this is a water-soluble pen, good for sketching. I'm going to be careful about going anywhere near that highlight. I might have to scratch that highlight back on that eye that's in the light. I want to bring the eye right down into the, that shape right into the glasses. And then I kind of want to darken over on this side to just bring out the edge of that face, or the edge of that far cheek. And face, it'll make the light look that much more dramatic. Just sweat that down. Might be able to fade this edge a little bit. It's not so harsh. I really am truly gonna stop now. I was just gonna leave this, but I can't stand it. I've gotta fix this nose, it's way too long. So I'm gonna use a bit of masking tape. And I'm gonna correct the edge of that nose shape. Bring it up. And then use my magic eraser and see if I can fix that shape. I'm creating a little template. So I don't erase everything. I'm using masking tape. I like to use masking tape because so I can see through it. Lop off the bottom edge of that nose because it's way too long. I actually need to come up a little bit more here as well. Just looking at the shape here. Trying to cut just the tape and not the paper. Right, let's see if this works. Use my magic eraser. I've got a square of it. It's Mr. Clean Magic Eraser in the blue box, original formula. I'm going to put it into water, and I'm going to squeeze all the water out. I'm quickly retract my blade so I don't kill myself. Squeeze all the water out of it. Then I'm going to push hard. Roll around to a clean spot. Works with watercolor, I'm not sure it works with ink. We're giving it a shot.